Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I wanted to do. Mm. All right, y'all. Let's get into it, I guess. This is not what I wanted to do. Welcome, everybody. Happy Father's Day weekend to all my peoples out there in the struggle. Let's see who we got. Put on my eyeballs. What's up? Miko, how you doing? Black Gun Owners Magazine. Sean Does It All. Who we got? Nala's Nook. How you doing? Big Rooster. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. John Rich 5132. Man, good to see you, Big Rooster, man. Shawanda Rich, Second Floor Gardens. How you doing? Talia, how you doing? All these blessings. That name always get me. Who else we got? Don't. How you doing? Polar Bear Cheryl, how you doing? Happy Father's Day to all the gentlemen. Happy Father's Day to all the brothers out there that's holding it down for their family and their kids. Let's see. That gun guy, how you doing, brother? What's going on, man? Hayes Jones, what's going on? How you doing, Cheryl, the garden artist? Who else we got? Jacqueline, how you doing? Marilyn. I didn't title this video Gina versus Gina. What's up, sister? I was watching you as a matter of fact, I fell asleep watching you last night. That didn't sound right at all, did it? That didn't sound right. I wasn't no peeking Tom or nothing like that. I was listening to you and fell asleep. Still don't sound right, do it? Well, I was watching you yesterday before I finally took a nap. Still don't sound. Hey, just I was watching your channel. Okay, it still don't sound right at all. I was watching you, Gina. Then I fell asleep. None of that sound good. What's going on, my sister? I'm sorry because all that sound crazy. You know, you got to watch your. This 2026. You know, we gotta watch our words. Gotta say your words right, man. You can't just be popping off saying anything. You know, just you say something like, "Man, I was in the shower the other day and I was thinking about you," and something you had said. You can't say that no more. Like, wait, hey, before you tell me anything I said, I popped into your mind while you was in the shower. Yeah, because I was just thinking about what we had talked about. You gotta say your words right, boy. You'll get a lawsuit quick. Okay. I'm sorry, Gina. Sorry, I don't want to mess up nobody's home. And you know, these YouTube streets, you will start some rumors. And you heard what Led said about Gina? Yeah, I caught that too. I screenshotted everything. That's why Lady Led don't be in his videos no more. Because he always be talking about people. Gotta watch what you say. This is YouTube. You know? Yeah. But you know what? Today, I'm here, and I'm glad it's Father's Day weekend. I don't think I even titled this video. I didn't put a thumbnail or anything, but this is Gina says, let him give him something to talk about. No, you don't do that. Listen, Gina, you say give him something to talk about. Let him talk. YouTube got more power. These social media platforms got more power than you think they do. Trust me. Look, just let me put it to you like this. In all these years of YouTube that I've been on here, I've been divorced about 3 times. I've cheated with every female, and I even believe I cheated with a male. Let them tell it. I cheated with several people that I met up with. I was going down to Florida to hook up with one of our viewers here on YouTube, and that was the thing I was doing in Florida. I really wasn't buying trees and playing. Oh yeah. How can I forget? One of the rumors was I bought the land because I was divorced for the 4th time, and Lady Leigh had put me out of my house, so I had to buy some land because we live separately. And man, no, you don't leave. Don't let no. You got people calling. Had people calling me. I'm so sorry. You guys were such a great couple. I hate to see you split up. Oh my God, I never saw it coming. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? The divorce, the separation, the land, Lady Leigh. Like, man, what are you talking about? Man, you know what I mean? People called me and told me they sorry for me and my family, and or hit me up and be like, look, Leigh, you know that's some bullshit. Lady Leigh is a beautiful woman. She sounds very smart. We've met her in person. How dare you cheat on your... What did I do? You know what you did, sucker. I've had enough. I don't... Listen. I have separated myself. Hey, TLC of the Garden. I have separated myself, and people think I'll be acting funny because I don't intermingle the way I used to. I'm going to tell you why I don't intermingle the way I used to. I mean it. And it's nothing against all of my friends, the real ones, the true ones, nothing. This is why. Because over the last about 6 years, I've said a whole bunch of stuff that I did not say. Did you hear how I put that? I've said a lot of stuff that I did not say. I heard things that I said that I was like, oh, that's horrible. Hey, T-Wo. Hey, Miss Mac. I heard a bunch of stuff that I said was supposed to have said. Well, you were saying something to somebody on the phone and they said this, and I thought that, and they thought this, so we came up with that. And then next thing you know, I turned into a monster. I went from a gardening dude, gardener, to a homesteading, off-grid monster. And you don't leave this stuff to people. So the reason I stay out the way on people's stuff, I watch everybody. I stay out the way though, because think about this. If you ain't saying nothing, you ain't saying nothing. You can make up rumors about me all you want, but when people say, well, where'd you get that information? Well, what had happened was, it ain't because we talked on the phone. It ain't because we took a walk into the mall or I ran into you at the store. No more. It's now the rumors have subsided because it's like, man, I got tired of that. Hey, everybody watching me right now, I pray you never find out. Hey, Michelle, hey, Katina Brooks, I pray that you never have to find out and get to a level where people start making up stories about you to the point it's sending your life into turmoil. I've had YouTube beefs that I didn't have any part of. I've been in YouTube beefs that I don't even hardly know about. I don't know how they started. I don't know what happened after. I done slept with all of y'all. There's rumors going on. I done slept with all of y'all. There's rumors I'm broke because I'm paying all y'all in here child support money. And so you know he went broke. That's all that child support he paying to all his viewers. What? So all I'm saying, Gina, especially you, Gina, be careful what you wish for, sister. I know you're a strong sister, but let me tell you something. You don't want that kind of smoke. You think you can handle it. I thought I could handle it. You can't handle it. Because when the world coming at you making those stuff, yeah, that's why his viewers viewing. That's why he got so many viewers, because they all his baby mamas and stuff. And they want to make sure they know how much money he making and saying he making sure he don't say nothing about them so they can take him back to court. So yeah, I be having to be careful with my words on here. But let me not slip down that alley, because that's a whole video right there. It's Father's Day weekend. It's Father's Day weekend, and I hope I got some men in here. Even some women. I hope I got some men and women. I do got some men and women, but I hope you can help me. I wanted to do a StreamYard and hear from you verbally, and I'll probably do it tomorrow. Thank you, Mary Mac. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out here. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about my experience. I'm going to try to make it brief. I was in my hometown, Toledo, Ohio. Shout out to the Mud Hens. I was in my hometown, and I met this group of young, strong men. And here's what I came up with. These young men asked me a lot of questions. Now, let me make one point. These young men, they weren't random young men. These young men were the sons of all of my best friends growing up. Rest in peace to all of them. All of my best friends from my neighborhood, all of them have long passed. So seeing these young men all grown and everything, looking just like their daddies, their fathers, kind of tripped me out, blew my mind, right? Here's the best part. I'm looking at these young men that look just like their fathers. So I find myself talking to them like I'm talking to my best friends from the past. And they're looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Who are you? And I had to keep reminding myself, these young men don't know me. They don't know me from a hole in a sock. They just look like their fathers. They're identical to their fathers. But we end up having a conversation because of my other best friend growing up, like a brother to me. He had to remind these young men who I was, because they like, OG, this, see that house right there? Me and him, he grew up in that house and I grew up across the street. So they don't got a clue, right? I haven't lived in Toledo in probably 20 something years, almost 30 years. Yeah. Whew. So what did we talk about? Something that I think we all need to talk about, which is this. These young men, I'm trying to say it respectfully because I don't want to make it sound like I'm being disrespectful. They only knew everything about their environment, okay? They were trapped in this bubble. So the more, I didn't think these young men would want to conversate with me at all. What you want to hear from me, right? Because now, whether I like it or not, I'm just that old dude. I'm not, I'm not part of anything anymore. Now I'm that old dude that came from out of town. That's who I am now. I can remember being young and be like, remember that old dude that came from California with the Lincoln Continental? I'm that dude now. but they had a lot of questions for me, and I did my best to answer them. And what got me was their fascination with the information that I have. And I found this out. Every one of these young men that I spoke to wanted to get out of the hood. They didn't say it, and they can't say it. They can't say it out loud. Not where I'm from. Because if you start saying you want to get out of here, you're going to start getting questioned like, what? What's wrong with this? You think you better than... You don't want that kind of smoke. So instead of them saying, I want to get out of this jungle, it's a madhouse, they were asking me questions that pretty much was answers on how to get out of this loop of, what's the word I'm looking for? They wanted better. They wanted to elevate, but they don't have any, nobody's telling them how to elevate. I tried to tell him. One young man talking about fishing. He loved fishing, but he's fishing in he's fishing in our polluted rivers. And just so you know, our rivers, everybody heard about Flint, Michigan water. We got the same water. I don't know why they always point at Flint and just say just the people in Flint, Michigan are getting sick from that water. We are all drinking that water. So here's the thing. You're fishing in that water, and I told him, son, stop eating that fish, because he eats it too. Stop eating that fish. You don't understand. All of our factories in that city was built on the riverfront. And all of that pollution that used to go, that come out of all those automotive factories, washed down in the Maumee River. And there go your fish, there go your algae blooms, there go the garbage, right? There go your toxic water. And no matter what, the only way I could convince him of how toxic that water was, I was like, man, look at all the drugs around here, right? Where do you think those drugs go? When you see some of these junkies around here and they dropping vials and needles and syringes and vapes and pipes, where does that stuff go when it starts raining? Man, that stuff washes down the drainage system. These drainage systems are connected to the Maumee River, washes all these drugs and paraphernalia and everything else down into that river. And then it goes through the water treatment plant, and then it come back up out your sink. And we wonder why all of us is so messed up. Long story short, I had to tell him what kind of fish I catch here in the Carolinas. And once I started telling him, he started understanding, like, man, it's other places to go fishing. It's better fishing somewhere else. It's better. They started asking me about, my friend was telling them that I have land and I live off grid, and they started asking me all these questions. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because I know you know some young men and young women too, this same way. The questions that they were asking me were like, they were asking me questions, and when I gave them answers, it was like they never heard of such a thing, like I was from outer space. These young brothers have only seen the inner workings of how my old city does stuff. And it reminded me so much of myself. True story. I didn't realize when I lived in my city, in my hometown, I didn't realize how small my city was. And I'm going to tell you, this is true story, okay? This is how small my city was. Well, is. I'm on a polar opposite side. I'm by the Michigan line, so I could just cross over to Michigan, okay? Literally. I'm at the Michigan line. My wife is at the whole polar opposite side of the city. She said, honey, can you come pick me up because we're about to go XYZ? I said, yes. I started driving from one whole side of the city to the entire other side of the city. Guess how long it took? 15 minutes. It took me only 15 minutes to go from one side of Toledo to the other side of Toledo. And she said, whoa, I didn't know you was going to be here this quick. I said, I was out this way and 15 minutes. It's the same from east to west, and it's the same from north to south side of the city. 15 minutes tops. Do you understand, if you do the math, how small that is? If you from a place, I lived in Atlanta, Georgia for over 5 years. You'll be driving in Atlanta, Georgia. And yes, I do say Atlanta, Kennesaw, Duluth, and Powder Springs, and all that's Atlanta. Man, you'll be driving for hours. Even if you just talk about Metro Atlanta, man, you on the road for about an hour, getting from one side to the other. From Decatur to Kennesaw, you driving up 75. And once I got older and started traveling, I started realizing how big other cities were. And I also started realizing, especially when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, I realized how much more that this city had to offer a young man. Atlanta, Georgia, when I moved there back in the early 2000s, to me, it was an endless resource of knowledge, an endless resource of Black education, an endless resource of resources. And I had never experienced such a thing. When I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and then I went back to my hometown, I knew I could never go back. Not because I'm hating on my city. I represent my city. But I knew I could never go back because it's not going to have everything I need or want to elevate. Not the way I want to elevate, okay? And let's talk about that. Now, one thing my city has a lot of automotive jobs, right? A lot of jobs still there, and now they got like Amazon and all this stuff. I want you to think real hard about that. All of these great jobs to make all this great money got one catch to them. You might be making $25, $30 an hour, but there's a catch to it. And I used to call it Hotel California. Have anybody ever heard the song Hotel California? The song Hotel California, you would have to hear it. But in a nutshell, it says, You can leave, or how I say, you can go anytime you like, but you can never leave. You can order as much liquor from the bar as you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can love who you want. You could do whatever you want. You can't taste the wine. You can't feel the love. You can't feel a person's touch. And you can go, but you'll never leave. And that's what I felt about my city, because I had a really good job working in the automotive industry. I made a lot of money at that job in the automotive industry. The problem was, it was like the King Midas touch. I had tons of money, but you can't leave because, one, you're always at work. The automotive industry keep your butt at work. Two, you can't transfer this job to anywhere else in the country. If you work at this automotive plant, let's just say you work for Mercedes. You can't say, well, I'm moving to Florida and I'm going to work at the Mercedes plant in Florida. If you leave your city and move to Florida to work in that Mercedes plant, this is your first day. So if you have 15 years in or 20 years in at your plant, when you move to Florida is your first day. So start counting from your first day up to your 30 years to retire. So my point was, you can never leave. If you get one of these big, great jobs, it's a blessing and a curse, because you will have all the money you like. You will have all the luxuries you like, but you'll be stuck in this city because you can never leave. And that's not who I am. It's okay for a lot of people, but that's not who I am. I like to experience new things. I like to experience new people, make new friendships, and see other places and things, man. I couldn't stay locked into that. So I quit. Everybody thought I was crazy. Maybe I was a little crazy, but I quit. I said, and I believed in myself so much. Now, remember, I want to throw something out here because I don't want y'all to get this twisted. I had a wife and 2 babies and a mortgage. I quit. And I took my butt out. I had one of those big old giant conversion vans, high top conversion vans. I threw as much stuff as I could fit in that conversion van, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia with my oldest brother and laid on his couch pretty much, for a few months till I got on my feet, got me a little roach motel, literally a roach apartment, okay? Until I could move my wife down and my kids down and rent my house out back in Toledo. And that's how I pulled it off. So while I'm down there, I'm paying the mortgage up north. So that's what took me so long to get on my feet, because I'm still paying a mortgage up there, and I'm paying my brother a little bit of rent, and I'm trying to save money all at the same time. I made decent money. I was driving trucks, but it was a lot to do, but I did it. Let me get back to what I'm saying. These young men and women, and some, they don't know that they have opportunity somewhere else. We got to start telling these kids to get your ass out of here. Even if they're not going to leave permanently, tell these kids to go experience something else, man. You don't know who they're going to end up being. You don't know who they're going to end up becoming. Tell your kids, man, Go to college and stay in the dorms. It ain't that you trying to get rid of them. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing all of this. Because I see the downfall of my people. And the downfall of my people is going to be lack of knowledge and ignorance. And that ignorance comes from you don't leave your city. You don't leave your town. You stay in your neighborhood. You stay with your friends. You stay with your crew. And you just sit there and wait, and you get old until you catch a bullet or worse. And I told these young brothers, man, man, they were so smart. Oh my God, they were so smart. And I was trying, it was wonderful because it was 4 of them. And they were just riddling me with questions. Like, man, so you mean to tell me you got pigs? I'm like, yeah, I got pigs. For real? So I pull up my security camera that's in the pig pen, and I showed them the pigs. Blew their mind. And my friend said he got chickens, pigs, bees, honey. They was like, what? Now, this is why I'm going to tell you why. Well, I can only speculate, okay? From my opinion, the reason why I think they were so blown away by the information that I gave them and my friend was telling them, I'm a beekeeper. I got chickens. I got chickens at 2 properties. I got pigs. I think the reason why they were blown away is because of stereotype. When you hear that a man got pigs, chickens, goats, cows, honeybees, when you hear that a man does all that, your first thought, I know whether you want to believe it or not, is the truth now. The first thing you think is that man does not look like me. That's your first thought. Whether you don't lie, whether you want to believe it or not, your first thought, if somebody was to tell you that over the phone, you never seen them, or you never heard their voice, or they texted to you, your first thought is they don't look like me. So these young men had never heard of a brother doing any of that without being in a history book and getting whipped across the back, if you dig what I'm saying. So they said, well, why do you do it? So I don't have to pay for food. I don't have to go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store when I want to. I don't have to. I get fresh eggs every day. I got chickens by the ton. I got pigs, and I got all my deep freezers full of fresh pork that I know where it came from. I know how it was raised, and I know what it ate. So I know what's in my freezer, literally. So, and I said, I got more honey, fresh honey, untouched, untampered with, no chemicals, fresh honey by the bucket load, literally 5-gallon bucket loads of honey. What? I told him I got fruit trees, and I pick fruit off of these trees and these bushes every day, every single day. And me and my family eat this fruit. I literally have a bowl of pears behind this camera right now. And they couldn't grasp, like, why. I said, because the more or the less money that you have going out, the more money you get to keep. Instead of running to the grocery store every 5 seconds, you can take that money that you've saved from running to the grocery store, and you can invest this money into something else more meaningful. You can take this money and purchase your own land over time. You can take that same money you saved and purchase you a cabin. Take that money, purchase you some solar. I started telling them about the solar, and they was, listen, I don't know if y'all know, I took my bug out trailer. And when I went over there, I had my bug out trailer on the back of my truck. This is a true to God story. All the time I was in my hometown, and I do kind of know why. Everybody came up to my bug out trailer. I'm talking about everybody in the city that I encountered. They thought I was a vendor, like I was the ice cream man. That was killing me. They thought I was either the ice cream man, I'm selling chili dogs or something, burgers, barbecue. Everybody would come up. True story. We had a jazz festival that I didn't even know we were going to have. I was sitting at a park, relaxing, one of my favorite parks, which is Ottawa Park. I'm sitting at Ottawa Park, relaxing, chilling, me and my puppy dog, and I got my trailer door open. Two people asked me 2 questions. One of them was, hey, is that a horse trailer? The man's wife said, I'm going to just make up his name because I don't know his name, Daryl. Horses can't fit in the trailer that little. He said, sure they can. That's a horse trailer, isn't it? It has little windows on it. I said, no, Daryl. No, it's not a horse trailer. No. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, it's not a horse trailer, Daryl. So he was like, so, well, what you got going on here? I was proud to share and show him. I went around the back and I showed him the bunk beds in there. I showed him the refrigerator. I showed him the solar power, the solar panels. I showed him my food, my stove, my fold-out chairs. I showed him everything, the lights, and blew his mind. He said, oh my God, it's a little camper. Yeah, that's right, Daryl. It's a little camper. And his wife said, I told you it's not a horse trailer. But that same trailer, everybody thought it was a food wagon. So I'm at my friend's house, and these young men was like, hey, what's in that trailer? Like some food, some barbecue, something? No. What is with my hometown? And y'all keep thinking anybody got a trailer got barbecue in the back of it. So I didn't understand it. And for this person, let me address this real quick, because I think I need to address this for everybody. This person says, why the commercials while you're talking? Teresa, I have no control over that. That's something you need to take up with YouTube. I keep getting that question a lot. I don't control that. Okay. And here's another reason why you get commercials during someone's live stream or watching a video. If you invest into YouTube Premium, you won't get commercials. So there is not a network out right now, no platforms where you're not going to get commercials if you're trying to stream for free. So I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. I had to do a timeout on that one. So I hope that answered your question. I don't have control over that. You do. You can make all those commercials go away if you get premium. Okay. Now, the young men thought it was a barbecue wagon. It's not a barbecue wagon. I let them see inside, and they couldn't believe it. And I let them know I sleep in this camper I've been sleeping in this camper for the last 8 days. They said, where you be parking? I ain't gonna tell you all that. But I bought this so I don't have to pay money in a hotel. They want $175 for this hotel room. I want you to do the math. If I've been here in this city for 8 days, and every day they want $175 plus tax, let's just say $200. Every day, that's $1,600 that they would have taken from me just to lay in their bed. Now I want you to do that math. I just saved myself $1,600 by buying me a little raggedy trailer that I bought for like $1,500. And I put a bunch of stuff in here that cost me a little bit more than that. Let's just say I spent $2,000 on everything in this trailer, the way I did it. $2,000 to get this whole trailer and put everything in it. And now I saved myself, if I stay somewhere for a week, I save myself almost $2,000 every time I go somewhere. And all I need to do is find a safe place to park. Blew their minds. Because I see I'm giving them more options on this hustle. Listen, I'm from where they're from. I grew up right where they are, and I know the hustle. And it's not safe. It's not cool to hustle now in these streets. You will end up somewhere stinking. You understand? So me being able to give them a safe way to hustle and make money without worrying about the streets or the street codes, man, I felt so good. Just giving them, because I seen the questions that they were asking me, I heard, and I felt what they was feeling. The questions started out, kind of curious, who I am, why I'm over here, yada, 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 because y'all know I don't go home that very often. And the next thing I know, the questions are popping off like firecrackers. To the point that, hold on, let me ask him this. Like, damn, these young men are desperate. These questions became almost desperation. I ain't saying there was no chumps or nothing like that. I'm just saying I could hear how interested they were in another way of life. I left one thing out too. The other thing that tripped these young men out was they heard about the pigs. They heard about the chickens. They heard about the bees. They heard about the fruit trees and the gardens and the food and the blah, blah, blah. And one thing that they didn't see, again, stereotype. That's what the media in the world has done to us. They stereotyped us and put us in categories. So people say, I don't want to be no gardener because that's like being a slave. I don't want to be this because that's like being you know what I'm saying? So no. So me telling them I do all this, not only does my skin not look the part that television has told you you're supposed to look like, but I'm not carrying myself like what television has depicted for that type of person either. I'm not the kind of farmer, gardener, beekeeper, man with chickens and all that. I'm not the kind that you would think. Because I'm still hood. And that was throwing them off because I guess they were waiting for me to go to start talking like this there, goddamn on home. And it was throwing them off because I'm talking like they talking. I'm looking like they looking. I'm up here with a porch full of OGs. But this dude got pigs at the house running around. He got chickens running around his whole yard. He got acres of land for no reason. I didn't understand it, because the reason why I say this is because they got all of our youthful men and women with their mind in a bubble. Their mind is in a bubble. They are trapped. And this is what I mean. They got it so all you see on TV is sex, drugs, and violence. Think about this. Because if you don't leave your city, you still only depend on social media, the radio, and television. You still, if you don't leave and you don't get out your city, you're still believing and listening to social media, television, and the radio. And again, that's why a lot of political nonsense happen, because the people that vote stupidly, that's all they go by. The lies from social media, television, and the radio. They've never experienced anything, so they have to go off of what's being told to them. And we all know it's propaganda, right? So these young men only know the information about life from their surroundings and the information that they get from social media, TV, and the radio. Now, let's take those three and break them down. Social media, drugs, sex, violence, nonsense. Let's take the television, drugs, violence, nonsense. Let's take the radio, drugs, sex, violence, nonsense, the dumbing down of. Listen, did you hear me? The dumbing down of violence over hypersexuality. Like, man, if you listen to all these songs that we listen to, and remember, and I know what a lot of y'all gonna say. Well, that ain't all the way true, because back in y'all days, y'all was talking about sexing people up and stuff like that. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. And I'm not going to pretend that some of our songs wasn't crazy. Big booty girl, hop with it. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. I know. Yeah. Ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. I know some of our songs when we was coming up was crazy. NWA. Okay? We can go on and on with the songs that was disrespectful, a little crazy, cussing, sexual, raunchy. Stick with me. For all of y'all about to say, y'all music was crazy too. It sure was. But here's the difference between when I came up and this new generation coming up. You'll hear murder was the case that they gave me, right? You'll hear that. And then turn around at about 7 p.m., 6 p.m., the Quiet Storm come on. Smokey Robinson and the Quiet Storm, soft and warm, the Quiet Storm. And now we go from big booty girls, hop with it. Now we went to if this world were mine, I will lay at your feet all that I own. You've been so good to me. If this world were, you understand what I'm saying? Even the thugs and the gangsters, it was a cutoff time. Okay, we throwing up our sets here and now. But man, there's a time to cut that off. And it was time to send your homies home. Well, I don't care what y'all doing, man. I'm with my girl and we ain't here. Luther is on. there was two kinds of music. You had your gangster music. You had, it was more than two kinds. It was several genres of music when I was growing up. You had hard rock, you had soft rock, you had pop, you had R&B, you had hip hop, you had love ballads, you had everything across the sun that lets you know and remind you that the world ain't all bad. Everybody don't listen to Two Live Crew. You understand? Even when I was young and I had the speakers in the trunk, what was them 15-inch JBLs bumping. I'm sorry, that was the other car. Kickers. Boom, boom, boom. My posse's on Broadway. I'm listening to this. It's loud. My trunk is rattling. I'm rolling. I'm thinking I'm doing something, gripping the grain. But when I'm pulling up to my job, I cut my music down about a mile before I get to my job. Now, I'm just a kid, but I was respectful. When I'm in the hood, I'm going to blast my music till one of the OGs come out and say, hey, man, turn that down. I'm trying to watch MASH. Hey, turn that down, man. I'm in here watching MASH. You messing up my damn program. But when I got close to a respectable area of people, man, I turned it down. So what I'm saying is, it's true in my era, we had some disrespectful songs, disrespectful music, and disrespectful things to see on television. But there was tons of different genres of TV, music, and educational things that wasn't always just raunchy. Today's time, the problem is they don't give these kids no breaks, man. All the music is disgusting. Listen to me. All of it. Everything on social media, the things that is promoted is disgusting. They don't want to promote nothing like this, what I'm telling y'all now. They want to promote just nonsense, lies, defamation. That's what's pushed and promoted on social media platforms. On the radio. The radio now is so disgusting, I can't even cut that on because the radio even has gotten to, I just drove almost 1,000 miles one way and 1,000 miles back. And you know what? We couldn't even cut the radio on. I remember when you couldn't cut the radio on in the mountains because you ain't going to pick up no stations in the mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains. Now you can't cut the radio on even when you get to a big city because it's bitch, hoes, and bitches on my hoes, and my hoses on my bitches, my stitches on my bitches and hoes, and what? This dude sang a song for 5 to 7 minutes about bitches, but he didn't say nothing about them. There was no information in this song. And the whole time I'm listening, I'm riding. My wife, turn that down. I want to hear him say something other than bitches and hoes. All I heard in this song was drugs, money, drink, bitches, cars, clothes. That's all I heard. Now, I summed up a whole song for you. And if you listen to a female artist, it's the exact same. So I'm like, this is the information that's being funneled in to our youth, our young men and women, and they can't leave the city. So that's how they think they're supposed to act everywhere they go. They think everywhere they go, it's okay to pump music about bitches and hoes and money and drugs and syrup and drink and clothes and humping on somebody. So they think it's okay. They think this is how it's done everywhere. So, so I'm going to tell you what my brother told me when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. Everything you learned in Toledo, Ohio, leave it in Toledo, Ohio. Forget it. It won't work here. Everything that you've learned, your hustle, your game, all that, leave it. It ain't going to work here. This is a new world. And I had to find that out the hard way. And that was some advice that I will take to my grave. Because I promise you, when I moved from Toledo to Atlanta, Georgia, nothing was the same. The way these AT aliens move, the way their vibe was, the things that they say, their language, the way they talk, the way they do everything was totally different. So right there, I knew you can't just take all this garbage you learned in this city and bring it here. You want to know something else? I couldn't take the things I learned from Atlanta, Georgia, and move them to South Carolina. It don't work. But if I didn't leave my city and venture out and explore this country, I wouldn't know that I had options. I don't have to be in a gang. I don't have to do crime. I don't have to date this one kind of woman. I don't have to have this one kind of job. I don't have to have this one kind of house. I don't have to. The world is mine. I can go out and say, I can think what I want. I can dream up the most craziest thing that I want in the craziest way that I want to live. And it's out there in the world somewhere. If this city can't provide it for me, I can leave and go to another one that can. And if these young folks don't know that they have options, I'm going to tell you, because one of my problems when I was young, thank God I started traveling. I didn't think it was nothing else outside of Toledo, Ohio. I'm not saying that my city is just so horrible. It's not. But I'm just saying, man, if you don't know that you have options, for instance, you don't hear about no basketball players coming out of Toledo, Ohio, do you? Do you? I know one, and he was a friend of mine. Literally. Anybody hear about any entertainers, musicians, singers, songwriters, movie producers coming out of Toledo, Ohio? Anybody? It's a couple, but just a couple. But I'm going to tell you one just right off the bat. Basketball player, Jimmy Jackson, literally was a friend of mine. I'm not talking about we went to the same school and no, he was a friend of mine. Jim Jackson literally hung out with this dude on an everyday basis. Lyfe Jennings. I'm not going to embarrass my brother like that. Lyfe Jennings, I got pictures of Lyfe Jennings, the singer, at all my birthday parties, my sister's birthday parties, because me and my sister, my family was friends and went to school with his sister and him. You don't hear too many more out of that. But 30 to 45 minutes away in Detroit, Michigan, As soon as you go 30 to 45 minutes away to Detroit, Michigan, everybody famous came out of there, right? Motown. That was Motown. So many talented entertainers and musicians and entrepreneurs came out of Detroit, Michigan, but it's nowhere from Toledo. You got to go through Toledo to get to Detroit. My point of saying that is, if you never leave your city, the light will really never shine on you depending on what you want to do. For instance, if you want to be an actor, do you think that a movie producer is coming to Toledo, Ohio to scout for new talent? This new part that they got in this movie. You think they coming to my city for that? Never. How many movies have been shot and made and produced in my city? None. None that I know of. Let me put it like that. We don't got no historical sites to say Steven Spielberg made this scary movie over here. No such thing. But just down the road in Detroit, Michigan, TLC said they'll come to Cleveland before Toledo. They'll come to Cleveland and Cincinnati. They will even come to Dayton. They'll skip over my city. So my point is this: if you want to be an actor, you go to California, don't you? You go to California, you go to Florida, you go to New York, you go to Chicago. If you want to become an actor, those are the places where you can get hired at, and those are the places with the best schools for that kind of education. Not here. But if you don't branch out, if you want to be an actor, you got to leave. You're not going to become an actor waiting on somebody to look at your headshots here in Toledo. It's not going to happen. Or South Carolina, for that matter. It is not going to happen. You got to go where the opportunity is. And people don't want to hear that because it's scary. But I really don't want these young folks to branch out, man, and go see what this world got to offer besides a bullet. Smart young men, smart, man. It was okay. This is what I want to do. I ain't gonna talk about it now. But I'm putting something. I'm going to try to put something together to give these young men and women more experience to survive out here in this mess that we all live in. I want to do something for these young men and women, because if they mothers and fathers don't tell them, they got to hear it from somewhere, man. They got to. But I would like to take some homies from my hood and show them this way of life. I'm not saying they got to become farmers. I'm not saying they got to become country boys or homesteaders. None of that. I just want them to get the taste of it. I'm going to tell you what always fascinated me with honeybees. I think I was fourth grade. Fourth grade changed my mind in the way I thought about bees. I thought all bees was horrible. All bees sting you. All I knew about bees was you step on one, you cry. One pop you, you cry. That's all I knew. But fourth grade changed my mind and made me more interested in bees. And that was, in the fourth grade, we went on a field trip. What was that place called? Oak Openings. We went on a field trip to a park in Ohio called Oak Openings. And those people let me taste They showed us honeybees. We stood at a distance, and they showed us them getting the frames of honey. Back then I didn't know what was going on. They showed us some beekeepers working some hive. And then we went into this little greenhouse where they had trays of like little cubes. You know, they cut bread into like 4 pieces, a slice of bread. And it was a bunch of these little slices of bread. And there was a big bowl of fresh honey that they just brought in for us. And they told us to dip, remember this is the 70s. They told you to dip your bread in this honey and eat it. Now, I had never tasted anything like that in my entire life. Remember, I'm in the 4th grade, so I ain't got much experience. But I had never experienced a flavor or a taste like that in my entire life. I did do one comparison where I knew something was different about these bees. You know what that comparison was? My mama got honey in the cabinet. My mother got that little bear of honey, that little honey bear, whatever it is. It's in the cabinet. I eat honey all the time. So I'm telling my classmates, oh yeah, honey is good. You gonna like this. You gonna love this. I was just as surprised as my classmates because I ain't never tasted nothing like this. When I realized the stuff that I'm eating at the house may not be honey. Because I just watched these folks pour this out and pour this in this bowl. I don't know who put that honey in that bear head. I start thinking, bees can do this? And here I am, 45, 50 years later, beekeeper, sitting on gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of honey at my every call. But you won't know this type of stuff if you don't get the experiences. That experience changed the way I thought about honeybees or bees in general. Honeybees are not wasps. Honeybees are not yellow jackets. And it make you do the research and go figure it out. And here I am. I want to do something for these kids, man. I'm always aiming for us grown folks. But it's a difference what I found out about us grown folks. We too set in our ways. We are not open-minded enough. We listen to something. I'm talking about us old folk, OGs. We listen to something, we hear it, and we be like, that sounds interesting. That sounds cool. I ain't doing that though. Tell me you ain't said that in the last year alone. Tell me you ain't said it. Oh man, that sounds cool. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh hell yeah. Oh man, whoa. Man, how did you do that? Be like, hey, you want to join me? Oh no. I don't know how many times I say, hey man, I'm having a little camping thing going on. We sleeping in tents, sit around the fire pit at night, drink a little drink, talk a little junk, barbecue. Man, that sound cool, man. You want to come? Oh, hell no. You mean outdoors? Like outside with animals and insects? Yeah, no, bro. I said it sound cool. I ain't doing that. Us older folks are so set in our ways, and we're not eager to try new things. Sometimes it's understandable because sometimes it's like we're not eager to try through new things because we are not really thrilled about getting hurt. Like you done bust your ankle up because now that we older, it take a while for that ankle to heal up. You don't want to be on no long trip because your shins and stuff go to swelling up. You know, you start taking on fluid. So I get it. And I'm not saying ain't nothing wrong with that. I get it. But just because us older folks don't want to learn and us older folks don't want the experience is not fair to our younger folks to keep their mind right here, to keep their brains right here, and don't let them get the experience. If us older folks don't want to get the experience, fine, I get it. But please encourage these young brothers and sisters to get your ass out of here and go see something else. I told these young men that I have solar power on my cabin that powers my entire cabin. He said, so you don't got no electric bill? No. I dug my own well with the help of my wife and my friends. So we got free water every day. So you ain't got no water bill? No. I got pigs and chickens and stuff out here to eat. I got water coming out of my pipes from a well that we dug. It's a hole in the ground with water in it that's fresher and more pure than anything that'll ever come out of your tap. So you ain't got no bills? No. Now, my house is another situation. At my house, I'm just like you. On my land, no. And then I told him, I said, this neighborhood that I grew up in, this whole neighborhood, from the schools, the elementary school, the pharmacy down there, the apartment complex over here, come on, guess what? I said, that's how big my land is. What? I said, all of that now belongs to me. And I'm the only one on it. Ain't nobody else there. I don't hear gunshots unless somebody shooting that deer. I don't hear no blasting, bumping music. I don't hear no smog. I don't smell no smoke, nothing. If I see another human being, he means me no good. And he might have to go whistle. So to let them know how that worked was blowing their mind. Having your own, even if it's not land, having your own. For instance, all y'all set tripping in this neighborhood, talking about them. This is your hood. This is your set. This is what you claiming. You will die for yours. You'll kill for yours. Blah, 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 blah. You don't own not one damn house or apartment in this entire, in a 5-mile radius. You don't own anything over it. You don't own a corner store. You don't own a restaurant. You don't own no apartments. You don't own a home. You don't own a car wash. You don't own a little barbecue pool behind trailer. You don't own shit. You ready to die for another man's stuff? Because I know who owns that house now. I know who owns that apartment now. I know who owns that little restaurant where all they serve is like fried rice. It definitely ain't you. You don't own that pharmacy. You don't own that corner store. You talk about you ready to die for some shit you don't own. Now, if you own this home and you were invaded and somebody crossed the line and you had to defend that which you owned, I get it. That's almost like set tripping. But you don't own shit. And you willing to pull out your Catalina and make somebody disappear over all of this stuff that you don't even own. I don't want to hear that no more. And right now, like I said before, with social media, the radio, TV, that's all that's programmed into these kids, man. Somebody stepped on your shoe, make him stop breathing. Somebody disrespect you, make him stop breathing. Somebody cuss you out, disrespect you in front of your girl, make him stop breathing. That's all these kids are being taught, is to make another man stop breathing for the most dumbest reasons. You said this, that. I heard what you said about me. You said you was in that gang and I'm in this one. I'm going to make you stop breathing for that. Listen, I'm going to tell you, everybody keep talking about gun control. It's not gun control. That's not what's going to solve our problem. What's going to solve our problem is making it so, what is it? Regulations. Regulations. Man, y'all, we need to, everybody say freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. I get it. But see, where does it cut off? We've taken that right and pushed it to the limit. Where we say, well, it's freedom of speech, I can say what I want. Just because you can say what you want does not mean you should say what you want in some situations. You have the right to say whatever you want. But there are consequences and repercussions to that too. And they should go ahead and add that to the Constitution. Like, yes, you have the right to say whatever you want. And before we finish, go on to the next amendment. You have the right to say whatever you like in this country. That does not mean there will not be consequences and repercussions behind what the hell you said. And that part, everybody's, I'm my First Amendment right. I can say what I want. You can. And that's why you're going to prison for 50 years. You can say all you want. You got 50 years to say it again. Say it every day, all you want to, all day. Our kids need, our youth, I don't want to call them kids, they need filter, man. They need exposure to something more beneficial to their future. Because right now, they don't get that. They don't get it, man. They're not, our youth, and hell, us older folks, we're not exposed to positive things. Every single day you cut on the radio, social media, the news, the TV, whatever, it's negative, man. I wake up every day and find out who was killed. Every single day. I miss the days when the biggest news was we just got a damn killer whale at SeaWorld or something, Squeaky. I'm sorry. Squeaky, the killer whale, has given birth in captivity at SeaWorld. Back to you, Dave. We don't get that kind of news no more, and ain't got it in over 20 years. I used to be like, look at little Juggles the dog. He can balance himself on a basketball, and now he can slam dunk it. back in those days in the 80s, we was like, that's not no news, man. We don't want to hear about no golden retriever know how to dribble a ball through his legs and won the ball and then come up for the shot. We don't give a damn that the dog is the next runner-up on the Harlem Globetrotters. We don't care. That's not news. That's what we used to think. I would pay anything now to get Dribbles the dog in the Harlem Globetrotter suit back in the news, because I'm tired of hearing how many of us lost our lives to foolishness, ignorance, drugs, alcohol. Oh, I can't leave this video without saying this. I sure wish this was a StreamYard, because boy, we would go in on this. Hey, something is in this weed, and it's being pushed to these kids. Something is in this weed, man. I'm going to do a whole video on weed. It's fascinating to me to see how people act now. People, to me, that smoke weed act like crackheads did in the 80s. Something is in that shit. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. No matter what city and state I go to, it all smells the same. That's right, Precious Sunshine. That's why they made it legal. You know what? Can we go down conspiracy theory alley for a minute? Because this is really going to be another video. I got to do this. Can we go down conspiracy theory alley just for a hot minute? Okay. You know what I think? This is just my thought. I don't necessarily think that it's killing us. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. You know what I think? And this is me putting things together when I'm by myself, okay? So none of this is factual. It's just my head and how I work. What are they trying to get rid of right now? They're trying to control the birth of children, right? One way or the other. They're trying to control it. I don't want to say the word, but every 5 minutes, they always, listen, since I've been young, they've been worried about a woman's reproductive systems. I said that wrong. They've been worried about a woman's reproductive system. That's been at the top of the news for 40 and plus years. That's always the first issue that we got to vote for every time we vote. Like this issue that we vote for about women's reproductive systems and who controls it. We vote on that every single year. Thought about something. They said it with their own mouths that one race is declining and several others are climbing. And they said with their mouths, I'm not speculating, I'm repeating what they said. They cannot be the minority. So they have to come up with ways not to become the minority. So they're always interested in people's reproduction. I thought about something. What if they made it legal so they can control your reproductive organs. I'm just spitballing. If they're making it hard for couples to have children, they're lowering the sperm count in the male and ruining the woman's reproductive system. Everybody said weed is all right, it's okay, it's all right. Man, well, why is so many people starting to get ovarian cancer all of a sudden? Why are so many men getting testicular cancer all of a sudden? And it's just me. It's just me spitballing. But that's what I see, and that's how I added it up. And all of that said, the government don't make nothing legal that they don't have some sort of agenda. They don't say give it the green light and okay, especially right out of the blue. They don't do that for nothing. It's always an agenda. It's always something that they are going to get out of it. They don't do it for the betterment of mankind, the people, the country. No, it's either a way to profit off of it, or it's going to be a way to control people in a situation, or both. You say people have a choice. It's what a person chooses to do. What do you mean by that? You think it's a step in the correct direction, and it's not, it's self-destruction. I don't know what you're saying, my friend. When you say people have a choice, it's what a person chooses to do. That's true. It's chemicals in the food too. Absolutely. 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 But when it comes to that little hobby, it's too weird. It's too weird, man. It's just all of a sudden, 1 minute, they locking people up. Listen, they ain't never locked nobody up for no food now. 1 minute, they locking people up, giving them hard time. For weed. And the next minute, it's okay for everybody to be smoking weed. It's just, nobody's thinking. Listen to me. This is how I feel. If you have kept me in the captivity all my life, I've been locked in your basement some damn where. And then one day, out of the freaking blue, you took the chains off of me and opened the basement door and opened the front door and said, "You're free to go." I can just leave. Yeah. The bus stop is down that way. I just gave you 50 cents, asking for a transfer. You're free to go. After all the torture and treatment that I've received, all of a sudden, why? Even though your captor have tortured you for a long time, all of a sudden you like, you got questions. Why though? Are you going to wait till I turn my back and you going to shoot me in my back? No. You're free to go. You wouldn't have questions. You would, even if you started running out that front door, you wouldn't keep looking back to see who's chasing you, I would be more scared and probably have a heart attack from running than I would have in that basement getting tortured. Because I'm like, you didn't just let me go just because one day you woke up and said, you know what, I'm tired of smelling him down in that basement. I'm going to turn him loose. I'm tired of cleaning up after his turds and stuff. I'm going to go and turn him loose today. No, you didn't know. So to me, when you have been locking people up and torturing them in prison for all these years, and all of a sudden, you know what? Today, guess what, y'all? Weed is legal. My uncle's still in the joint doing another 5 years because of weed. Are y'all going to let him out? Oh, no. He has to stay in prison because he did the crime when it was illegal. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me right now, my uncle can't get out of prison because y'all caught him with a couple of joints. He doing 5 more years. But now that it's legal, I'm free to smoke it whenever I want. That's right. You ain't gonna have my balls shrivel up and run up inside my body. And shit, no, you're not. I've been hearing about a lot of infertility problems. Folks can't have kids and stuff. I just glued this together. Ain't no facts to it. I just glued together. I told you we was going down conspiracy theoretic. But this government has shown us for many, 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 many years, if not my whole life, that everything that they do, there's an agenda to it. Period. That's it. My whole point of this whole video was getting our young men and women out in this world and letting them get experiences that could change their life for the better instead of sitting waiting to die. That's what I feel like our youth is doing right now to this day. They sitting around in the hood playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who gonna get this bullet though? That's what they doing. Everybody is getting smoked. Like, if you're not doing anything, like, what are your goals? You look, how many people coming up had, I remember when the girls used to have what is that? They used to go to a class where they had to keep a book on their head and walk a certain way. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? It's some kind of, I was about to say class, some kind of, do y'all know what I'm saying? Women had to go to a place and learn a certain way to behave and act. What was that called? They had that charm school. There was a class for women, not modeling. It'd be more fights in modeling than in the etiquette school. Etiquette and charm school is what I was thinking of. They had an etiquette class and they had a charm school. Showed you how to speak in a professional setting. And how my sister, I think my wife was in one of them too, she said. My daughter was in one. And men, we used to take a course, I can't remember what it was called either, where we had to dress up. Our instructor showed us how to tie a tie. I already knew how to tie one for my father, but my instructor, part of the lesson, how to tie a tie. Part of the other lesson, I remember this was one big class after school program that we all did. We was kind of like in the gym so we could see each other. I could see what the women did and they could see what we did. And the gentlemen, the fellas, We couldn't do none of that, but we had to wear tie, dress pants, hard bottom shoes, no jewelry, no nothing. We had to have our hair cut, everything. And if our hair couldn't cut, they had somebody to help you do that too, because everybody had no money. And then as a whole class, they taught us how to fill out applications. They taught us how to fill out a resume. They taught us the things to say and not to say in a job interview. They told you all of these ethics on how to elevate. And I don't remember what it was called. But all of us gentlemen, we got to a point. Now here's the thing about that class. This wasn't about how to fix a car. This wasn't about, how to repair your home appliances. None of that. That was a whole nother class that we did. This was a whole class for a whole semester that we did, or a whole quarter that we did, just focusing on how to be decent human beings and how to learn skills that's literally going to end up either paying the bills or bringing you towards an entrepreneurship. They were in those days telling us and preparing us for the world and how ugly it was. For instance, I remember one of the lessons was like the manager or the boss is supposed to be hiring you, supposed to be mean, right? So I don't really care for your kind. And you have to respond. And there was a lot of us that said, man, who you talking to? Or man, F you. Or it was just a test. But it showed you how to move in a hairy situation like that. Are you going to let your temper and your emotions get in the way of this money? What you about to do? It was so many scenarios, man. If your friend get caught stealing in the store, is you going to tell on him? We all kind of knew the answer to that, but you wasn't supposed to say that. You were supposed to say, absolutely. He's stealing from the company. And I won't go through anybody else. I'll come straight to you, boss. And I'm going to tell that my best friend since birth stole this candy bar out of your store, your establishment. Absolutely. I'll be the first one to tell on my friend. And I brought him to work. But we know, we all know that ain't how it go down. Not in the hood either. So if you think about that for a minute, man, they don't have things like that no more. They don't have classes that teach men and women how to repair cars and work on cars that they don't have to pay for. Because in my day, all you needed was your parents' signature on this note that you want to join auto class, or you want to join electrician class, or join carpentry class, or join a home economics class. All you needed was a signature. And I can't make this up. I was in every last one of those classes. I was in automotive. The only one I never went to was machine shop, where they work with metal. My brother did. I ended up being a carpenter's apprentice. Carpentry class. I went to automotive class, home appliance, where you fix toasters and refrigerators and stuff. And it was one more. And I took home ec. A man, I took home economics, not because I necessarily wanted to learn how to cook and stuff. I'm gonna be honest. The reason I took home ec was because my sister took home economic class, and I was done by the time she got done. So I had to wait for my little sister to get out of home economics class because we had to go home together. And I better not come home without my sister. All hell gonna break loose. So I had to wait. So I said I might as well join the home economics class so I could just wait for my little sister. I learned so much stuff in that class, and the first thing I've ever made myself, I can't make this up, was banana bread. I never knew what a damn banana bread was when I was young. Banana bread. I was like, I'll never forget this when the teacher was like, and we're going to learn how to make banana bread. I said, banana bread? What the hell is banana bread? I never forget that. I had everybody laughing because when I tell you I was blowed back, I don't know what you about to have us making. What the hell is a banana bread? And she got to saying, it's some bananas, it's some nuts. I'm like, no, thank you. No. Ended up being one of the best things I've ever made in my life to this day. If I see, don't walk past me with a banana bread. You will get a Glock waller in your rib cage. Hey, break yourself. My wallet is in my back pocket. That ain't what I want, girl. Oh, you want to? No, I don't want that either. You just got that pound cake, that banana bread. Go on, pass that on down. You shut up and everything gonna be all right. Shit. Banana bread, bruh. Banana bread. It ain't got no drizzle on the top. It ain't got no icing or nothing, Jesus. I don't know how they did it. I ate that. Oh, my word. I mean, my hood accent and all that went out the window, all that. Oh, dear. I do declare that was rather excellent, if I do say so myself. Oh, dear. Is there more? Man, banana bread? Don't put no banana bread around me. Don't put no banana bread around me, son. I told you these experiences change your life. And if you are not exposed to new things, new tastes, new people, new places, man, you will never go nowhere. I wasn't about to eat no damn banana bread. Banana bread? They don't listen. I'm be honest. I'm older now. Banana bread still don't sound delicious. It just don't. Okay. You can't even mash it up in your mind and make it sound delicious. Like, honestly, you know what don't sound delicious? Cheesecake. Say it to yourself. Say it with your mouth. Cheesecake. Say it fast. Cheesecake. No matter how fast or slow you say it, it sounds disgusting. Cheesecake. Gross. And one time I was in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my older sister made cheesecake. And I'm like, I'm not eating no big old cheesecake. And how's come is white? What is that? White cheddar? I ain't eating that. She said, boy, taste it. She made it from scratch. Now my big ass can't leave them alone. That's my problem. That's my problem, son. Them cheesecakes. Them cheesecake, man. Cakes and pies. Them some experiences I probably should have never had because they got me hooked on that like The Rock. You know? Yeah. Somebody just said it. Bean pie. That got to be one of the gross sounding foods on the planet. Bean pie. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you where the first time I ate a bean pie. See, again, experiences. Now, a lot of my friends growing up was Muslims. They daddies was and everything else. Bean pies were everywhere. Okay, you didn't have to pay for them or get a final call to get a bean pie in my neighborhood. So, you know, my friend, hey, you want to get down one of these pies? Man, no, man. You know, my friend, hey, you want to get down one of these pies, man? Man, no, man. Because you already know what it is. You know what it is. It's a bean pie. He got it from home. They got plenty of them left over. And he got an arm full of final call. Nah, man. You know, because I ain't dissing them. I'm just saying right now, man, I'm trying to work up on this young lady. I'm not trying to hear that right at this moment. Man, you got to taste this one, though. Here, man. Man, it's beans. Yo, beans, son. Smell like sweet potato pie. Man, eat it, man. I'm telling you. Man, you got to eat more than the crust. You peel that little paper back. Damn. Oh, my word. You start rolling around your tongue. The beans are cooked to perfection. And the brown sugar is this confectioners or your, okay. The brown sugar rolls off your back of your tongue. And man, bean pies. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all some truth. When I was a mailman, I used to deliver to this part of my route where, you know, Muslim brothers was always on these corners, you know, telling people about the truth and giving out the final calls and bean pies. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man, I used to just stop and listen so I get one of the pies. I didn't want to spend my own money, right? I don't want to spend no money on lunch or a snack or something. I go and listen to the brothers preach the word, man, you know, and you know what else they're trying to do, brother? Listen to this. See, what we don't know, I'm like, yeah, word. For real? Yeah. You want to join? Join you? Well, I got to get back to work. But I was wondering if you had a couple of those extra pies where you going to buy a final call. Yeah, give me one of them final calls. 50 cents. And give me about 2 of them pies, boy. I mean, brother. Give me a couple of them pies and a final call. Man, and be in my mail truck. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't dissing them, and I wasn't faking the funk. Them pies, though, you know, if you're going to get a bean pie, you're going to hear it. You can't just go somewhere and get a bean pie. They don't have them places. You don't see a bean pie in a store, right? There's not a restaurant that says, would you like a slice of bean pie? There is nowhere to get that except for the nation. So, to acquire said pie, you got to hear the word that the brother going to preach to you. You got to hear that sermon first, man. And I thought it's worth it. Just don't let them get too hot, man. I know you got them down in that little igloo cooler. Don't let them get hot, bro. I'm listening to you. I believe you. Yes, the man is keeping us down. Yes, we got to unite. Yes, we got to fight the power. Yes, absolutely. But them pies, though, son, you letting them pies get hot. Don't let them get too hot because I don't like them when they squishy. Who made them? Who made them this week? Oh, yeah? So, bean pie. If you don't get out and experience new things, you won't know. See, man, them bean pies were so good. Them bean pies were so good, I almost joined the Nation of Islam. Oh my God. I almost joined the Nation of Islam. just for the pies. Oh my God. I would have been messing around. They would have kicked me out because I've been getting high on my own supply. I have my own money, and I'll just be putting money into the account that come from the pies. Take the pies home and just, I'll be getting high on my own supply. They'd be like, Brother Led, you putting on a little weight, brother. Your suit is a little snug. You know you're going to have to work on that, my brother. Yes, I do. Yes, I am going to have to work on that. I'm going to pray for me, brother. I was about to join the Nation of Islam for them pies, boy. You see, I was already listening to them. And people don't want to hear it. They be like, your final call? I don't want no final call. Not me. That brother knew every time he saw my mail truck, my man. Pull over, talk to my brother, man. You was about to have me like this, my brother, on the corner, saying the word, talking to my people with an agenda. Like, Brother Led, Brother Led, there has been some discrepancies and there has been some rumors about missing pies. Oh, for real? The rumors are, we want to know, my brother, are you in this to spread the righteous word to our brothers and sisters? Or are you just in this for the pies? Don't lie, Brother Led. I cannot lie to you. Malik X. I started out in it for the pies, but hear me out. I started out and I was just in it for the pies, but I learned to love the nation, brother. I learned to love you and my brothers here in the nation. And it's not just about the pies anymore. Oh, Brother Led, we're going to have to let you go. You have deceived us. You have infiltrated the Nation of Islam for our pies, brother. So I'm sorry I went down that road, but yeah, if you don't experience new things and new places and meet new people, man, you bound to drizzle. You won't make it, right? You won't make it. Not long. Because even nature tells you stagnant water is toxic. Yeah, I was fired from the nation, my brother. They held a whole council meeting on getting rid of Brother Led. For all those to say we need to get rid of Brother Led, say aye. And it is so. Brother Led, you must go. Damn. Before I go, Brother Malik X, it's a box of pies. And please, Brother Led, you need to leave. I just thought I asked. Just, so I literally have not, listen, a lot of that is true. I did not join the nation, But the pulling over for the pies, mad respect to him, mad respect, you know. Nation, y'all know these just jokes. So please don't come get me. Please. Please. Brother Farrakhan, y'all, please don't come get me. I'm just jokes. I ain't poking for. I did get them pies though. I ain't gonna lie about that. I ain't gonna lie about it. I did hit y'all up for some pies though. And they are good. See, now that I'm putting this on my platform, y'all gonna be selling more pies. They're gonna be hitting people up for final calls on every corner. So that's it. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Been in here almost 2 hours. I want to say, happy Father's Day to everybody. And with that being said, I think we should focus way more energy on our young brothers and sisters and give them new experiences. What can you do and how can you contribute to them so they can get outside of this stagnation? Ooh, I like the sound of that. Instead of the nation, the stagnation. That's the state that they live in. That's just a thought. With that being said, everybody, stay safe, stay sane. Lead Farmer 73, I love you, and I'm out. Peace. Happy Father's Day.